Yeah, I would say that I totally agree with the waiting for that one, I guess in the line of the great shift, not waiting for that one person to come and be the minister or the special guest that does a mass sweep, or things are going to change, but then your normal Sunday to Sunday is like, okay, but nothing really happens to that kind of degree. So I think that already was a shift of mindset for myself, that, oh, I don't have to wait for a particular person who may be standing in a position that's ordained by God to carry out certain works. That's actually really given to the church, but not Jesus has come. Believers actually carry the Holy Spirit and the power to cast out demons, to pray, to, yeah, I guess, stand in that authority. And I would say for some time, for the first few years of my Christian walk, it was really grappling with the reality that, oh, I can pray in my own house. Oh, I can pray over myself. Oh, I can cast out. Oh, this is how it looks like. Oh, it's not as crazy or scary as I think it is. Especially where, when people are thinking of deliverance and demons, it's, I guess, in the church space, you might think of, oh gosh, going to the front and something crazy happening, the screaming or the wailing, or that was my kind of mindset of like, no, I don't want to go to the front, just in case something happens, but I don't fully understand what it is, but I don't want that. So even being fearful of what freedom even looks like or deliverance looks like. And I know in some cases, actually, it's not been to the degree of for helping people to walk in freedom. I know there's a lot of experience of people that it's the complete opposite, even though it's been under the banner of a church. And I think that's where um, maybe there's a lot of lines that have been kind of crossed, and misunderstandings and misconceptions, because you have a lot of individuals who are saying they are Christians, who carry the Spirit of God, but then in certain Christian cultures or traditions or environments, actually it's been quite hurtful and harmful for individuals. And I think that's the negativity of deliverance and demons is probably the prominent thing that maybe I sat in even over individuals' minds when it comes to speaking about deliverance or hearing about it, because they think, oh my gosh, no, I don't want to experience that kind of thing. And I guess those are the misconceptions or the misunderstandings, and actually the reality and the truths of why um, um, I guess the church has to take responsibility and be accountable for even what has gone before, that maybe has tried to have the banner of God's name, but actually was not him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot bound up in there in terms of people's experience of church, people's experience or not of deliverance, or whether he's even talked about if it is, what happens, if it isn't, what happens. Although, thank you, Abimbola, you may have just given us a new method, because if I have to eat crickets in order to do deliverance, then when I do, the demons are getting it, because I don't fancy eating bugs. So maybe that's what we need to just stir ourselves up, is that we actually need to eat crickets, so that we're so upset and hungry by the time we come to deliver people that we just straight through, out, and we're done. 50 seconds, out, done. So we'll work on that. Crickets and deliverance, you heard it here first. When you see it take off, you heard it at KLM first. All right. Oh dear. It's a bad Instagram clip waiting to happen. But anyway, as we're saying, no, people have lots of different experiences around this area, and talking about the things that we experience growing up. And again, when you do see it, there is this image that, and it's interesting what you guys said. The minute we think deliverance, we talk about a church service. Because it's the classic image. There's a service, there's a man or a woman that comes up who's flown in from somewhere. If they fly in, it's more powerful, by the way, than if they just come from down the road. If they fly in, then that's it. Ministry's taking place, apparently. That's the mindset.
You're queuing outside the church.
We're serious today. And then they get up, and then they minister, and demons start to leave, and that kind of thing, and then everything goes back to normal for another year until somebody comes in again. It's that kind of thing. So it's interesting, even though that our minds often think of a church service, and actually, I'm going to jump the gun, but if we're all supposed to do it, we don't spend most of our time in a church service. Like, I've been involved in deliverance for almost 20 years. And most of the deliverance that I've done on people is in houses. Less so in the church building, because it doesn't have to be necessarily bound up like that. But I think there is a lot of misunderstanding